All right, technical difficulties with the camera, but welcome to another Flash Hour. I have no idea what's going on with my camera. Hopefully it pops on here. It kind of does. All right. Gosh, technical difficulties on the fly are always fun. All right. Well, welcome to, I'm going to bring this on stage. Welcome to another Flash Hour. We have a lot to get into. I actually kept the State of the Trenches a little short, anticipating some engagement from you all. Would greatly appreciate the engagement because... Okay. Well, looks like camera might have some issues here. But appreciate any engagement from you all, because this week we really do have a lot to get into when it comes to proposals, migration, and some other interesting things that are coming up that we'll get into. One of them I am extremely excited about. That would be super competitive, we'll say. But we'll bring in the head leader, whose camera seems to be working. Inas, how you doing, sir?
GM everyone. I hope I don't have much background noise, but yeah. What happened with your camera?
Not sure, to be honest with you. It just decided I don't want to work. Yeah, you can see I'm trying to connect it, but when I do, it just boots me out of StreamYard. So, not sure if it's permissions or something. No worries. Permissions are fine. But
today we won't be seeing Magus face then.
Yeah, unfortunately. Unless I can fix it on the fly. Looks as if the camera angle is going to be unfortunate. Hey! Got a team member. He's just hanging out, just joining in. Yes, so let's get into State of the Trenches. Sorry, I got thrown off by the camera thing trying to fix it, but let's get into State of the Trenches. State of the Trenches here, for all of you who are not acquainted with Flash Hour. We do this just so you get the opportunity to funnel in, sit down, relax, grab a drink, grab your coffee, grab your afternoon tea, whatever it is you enjoy, and be able to follow along with us. So let's get into this quickly here. Solana surpassed Coinbase and Kraken in daily and weekly spot volume. That is extremely significant.
Yep.
I mean, as far as, I don't even think I would have said we would have got here. I know that probably sounds crazy. I always kind of thought centralized venues would have been for a lot longer than what it has been actually. Now Solana is downright beating them across the board when it comes to fills. And to me, and fees. So fees is another thing, you know, fills and fees. So not only do you get a better fill, you also are paying far less than Coinbase and way less than Kraken. And that goes for across the board for so many different exchanges too. Because I know those are not just the two, but there's some, you know, Asian exchanges as well that Solana is extremely competitive against. So just a really good thing to see across the board. SPCX or SpaceX crossed 104 or 39 million, 140 million in total on-chain volume following its debut. It's actually way more than that. It's just the only verifiable number that I could find. So
I think, it's more about the incentivization that people are getting to trade, and that is also boosting the volume a lot. With the new program from Foundation, which is called Frontier Traders thing, and I think the volume is actually more than 1.2 billion on SPCX.
The only reason I didn't want to add it was just because I couldn't find a verified source, but I knew it was way more than that. But yeah, the on-chain volume is insane. RWAs, man, wow. Equities on-chain. Well, it is the future, so we'll see that grow and grow and grow as more IPOs like Anthropic, I believe, what is it? ChatGPT will probably be on there, or OpenAI. So yeah, and then of course, you know, to bring everybody's mood down a little, Moody's credit ratings are now machine readable at scale on Solana. What the hell? Yeah, as if we needed a credit score. I mean, to be fair, it was always coming. I actually, at the company I worked at before this, believe it or not, was actually trying to solve this. It's extremely difficult to do on-chain. They were trying to do everything on-chain, and there were just limitations.
There needs to be some sort of like legitimacy to the rating, and it takes a while. Like, you need to create a legacy, and then you have to spend money to create that legacy, and then finally people will take note and give some weight to that rating system, because anyone can build the rating system. It's not that hard, but creating a brand and then investing in that brand and having a very interesting legacies where these rating agencies are worth about.
It has to be, yeah. And the other thing too, one of the things that was particularly difficult was like, and this is across the board for so many use cases on Solana, there are a ton of use cases, but monetizing that, making it profitable and being able to make sure that you can stay afloat is so very difficult for use cases like this. Because there's not an easy route to monetize, because nobody's going to pay for a credit score, dude. First off, they don't even want it. You know what I mean? It's like
it's very hard to create a credit score on chain, because you can spin up a wallet anytime you want.
Exactly.
And then custodianship is it's non-custodial. And the interesting part with banks and all of them, like, they hold the custody, so they can create this giant system where someone can give them a rating, and then the custodianship is under someone else, which could allow people to use that custody as collateral. But on chain, it's a very different world, and I think that is the world we are also moving towards. So
yeah, 100%. Yeah, and somebody who can crack that nut and make it profitable, I mean, you know, that is a serious use case. So, you know, if somebody out there wants to roll with that idea,
like Aave is doing that. Like, if you check, Aave is already by assets under management, it's like already a top 100 bank. If you check purely by the numbers, and even Camino should rank in that place. So that is the direction that we have going on, but it's all about bringing in more higher yields, because that is what attracts people. And then there's this part of security which everyone is working towards.
I mean, it makes sense overall for somebody like Aave to do it in turn. I don't even know. Maybe it's just that each, like Camino also, you know what I mean? Like maybe it makes sense that it's not quite like a centralized entity, but more of an internal thing, instead of it being like an overarching public kind of entity. Because again, I mean, if everybody can access the data too, that's, for me at least, a little scary. But I mean, everybody can. It's extremely difficult for like the Sybil attacks, where, like you said, people could spin up 10,000 wallets like within a matter of a minute. You know what I mean? So it's very, very, very challenging thing to build on chain. AWS Cloud enables publishers to programmatically monetize AI traffic via the X402 on Solana. I still don't know, man.
We don't know.
I just don't see the use case, or like what, I don't see this like growing. I don't get it. I've been trying to like think it through of like why this matters. Is it going to be something big? All of it just comes back to, I just don't see the reality of it at this very moment because of how little AI is technically doing on chain. So maybe that'll change later as AI becomes more powerful. You said you hope it changes?
We hope it changes.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I think AI use cases are just in their infancy and just being explored now. So, and kind of that framework, or that the building blocks, right? Like the underlying infra is still kind of nascent, fractured, and very difficult to unify into like one platform. So, you know, hopefully with the MCP standard, with X402, with the advancements in autonomy with AI, you know, and AI safety is really the big one for me. That can become a reality in the future. But TEE wallets are a good step forward with that as well. Solana hit a new all-time high of 213 million in daily spot volume for tokenized equities. That's insane. I think our total, like I said last week, our total volume at one point for like a whole month was like 80 million or something like that when Anas first said it. And that is, you can go back and literally look at the slides where it said like 1 month, it was like 80 million in equities. Now we're at 213 million in daily spot volume. So man, did that explode. Kraken added native on-chain trading in its main mobile app, giving users one-tap access to Solana tokens. So I'll be honest, it's basically just on-chain trading. So like every DEX.
It's like what Binance Wallet did. You know, like there is a feature in the Binance exchange which is called Binance Wallet, which basically creates your Web3 wallet and allows you to interact with any supported blockchains. And I think Kraken has the same thing. So
Binance has had that for quite a long time. Yeah. American institutions are somehow just catching up. Coinbase has had it extremely fractured for a long time. You know how they had their Coinbase wallet, and like, dude, it was the worst experience you could possibly ask for the longest time. So that was for me at least, being an American, only having access to those exchanges, unfortunately, it was such a pain in the neck. So I am happy to see that they're kind of natively building that in. Ondo Finance expanded Ondo Global Markets with 173 new tokenized stocks. And this is really good for us here as well, because they do have that mint and burn mechanism, which is exactly direct mint and burn, which is extremely, extremely valuable for us. So that's a big expansion, and glad to see. Although Ondo's volumes, stock, or is it X stocks, are kicking their butt, man. I don't know what it is on Solana. It's on Solana specifically, to be fair. But yeah, X
there
stocks
is a FAF. overall there is a fight, to be honest, where there are incentives that are being paid so that there is more volume in specific pairs. But now we also have Backpack joining the same thing. So
Oh yeah,
it's
you're right.
about time where we see what happens. Like even if I check right now, Xtox is doing the highest volumes,
Yeah,
and
100%.
these are very good volumes. And yep, Backpack supported assets are also following up, but it's all very good thing, to be honest. Like
No, yeah, it's
uh,
great. The competition's amazing. Somebody's got to come out on top, and that is the person who
I
pushes.
I personally don't think there would be just one guy who would be the on top, because like
No, I mean like
there
the
will be
leader.
multiple people. Yeah, I think for that,
Because
Xtox is already established itself in that direction.
100%. Yeah. I think Xdocs is doing great things. And then there actually is Sunrise as well. Does Sunrise do the direct mint and burn? Or is that more of a
No, Sunrise is
wormhole
just a bridge.
workaround?
It's
Yeah.
just a bridging service.
Gotcha.
Doesn't have to.
Gotcha. Because I saw their volumes were absolutely massive too. I was just checking before this call. Rareable. So this is Collector Crypt, by the way. Holy smokes, they are doing some serious volume. If you're into, I don't know jack squat. So if you reach out to me for like advice, horrible idea. Collector Crypt is doing some really massive volumes with like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and the One Piece, whatever that is. I know probably some people would want to kill me for that, but whatever that is. Rareable partnered with Collector Crypt to bring real world collectibles on chain. And I think that's because Rareable has like MLB and some of the other sports related things. So Collector Crypt is trying to broaden their offerings. But they're doing some pretty serious volumes. I believe they're actually in like the top 10 on revenue on Solana, which that happened almost overnight, which is crazy.
We had no idea that this will like even now. I personally think it's some sort of a fad, which is currently
Flash in the
going on,
pan.
and it's like just it's like NFTs, and it will have its own time and then fade off. But what we have right now, with the assets being issued, with new assets being listed, and then volatility in the market, so it's going to be very interesting place. Like Solana itself is becoming an interesting place where any asset we're going to be issuing both on the spot and the perp side, and depending on your strategy, you can pull off those things, everything on chain.
Yeah, and there's always going to be flash in the pans. They could be, great opportunities, but you definitely need to be careful when the proverbial rug is pulled, because that can be pretty nasty.
There are no drugs. It's because you own the card, so it's all
no, not. That's why I said proverbial. It's like once everybody kind of. It's a collective consciousness thing where it's like everybody feels it's over. It tanks really fast. Although the only thing that kind of negates that for me is how they're actually pulling in the valuations. They're actually real world evaluations like PSA and Beckett. I've been doing a little bit of research, as you could tell, just because of my own curiosity into this kind of space, because I genuinely do not know that much about it. But so that actually offers a little, because NFTs are pure speculation. This is actually some graded, off-chain cards, which actually do hold value over time, believe it or not. You can go back a very long time.
Believe in it. It's similar to NFTs.
Yeah,
there is no
very
difference.
Similar.
The belief system is the same. There is, I don't know.
But my I guess my argument was like,
you might hurt some fans. So.
Oh yeah. That's what I was saying. I was like, but I'm trying to give him the bone here. You're taking the bone away. Solana Institute convened policymakers, builders, and asset allocators in Chicago for Solana Summit, Washington, Wall Street. This was a pure institution for Solana. It is obviously in an effort to get favorable policy law, and laws around Solana and what Solana's interests are in the U.S. markets. I do actually like seeing things like this. I know some people do not. They kind of poo-poo on this, but unfortunately, if we don't engage if we do not get involved in this policy space, then someone else will, and somebody else's narrative and somebody else's laws and policies will be pushed through. So it is unfortunate thing of politics and governments. We do have to get involved with this kind of stuff. So I really, really love that Solana has taken it seriously and has opened that Solana Institute initiative. So, all right. Here's the big thing for this week. This is the overarching thing that's going to, besides migration, this will be the secondary thing that is really going to be big for this week and the topic of discussion, which is the FAF team token mint. Do you want to take that away for me, sir?
Yep. The temperature check proposal has, I think, passed with flying colors because everyone knew this thing was coming up, and I think this is the best time. This is right before V2 that we want to put up this proposal up for vote and then have this sorted, because everyone needs to be aligned as Flash grows and becomes the exchange where you can trade anything. The team alignment is also very important, and I think with this proposal everything aligns, because now team is also aligned to grow the market cap as well as the people who are holding FAF and betting on the future of Flash trade. So that is the whole concept here. And then you can basically see on the screen where the supply is minted at once when the proposal is passed, and the proposal would be going live by tomorrow on MetaDAO, and then will be up for voting for 3 days. During the proposal being up, there would be a temporary pause over the unstake system that we have, and it would allow you to unstake instantly rather than the 3-month threshold that there is, because this is a very important proposal, and we want everyone to participate in it. And it depends, to be honest. If you want to participate, you can participate. If you don't want, nothing changes. But we really hope that the proposal passes and then aligns in the direction of team growing the market cap of Flash FAF as high as possible. And yep, this is the team tokens unlock proposal coming up on MetaDAO by tomorrow. And yep, we'll have some more announcements around it. I think there is also one more important thing that I wanted to basically highlight is, so the tokens are minted at once, and those are like 20% of the supply, which is about 200 million FAF. These tokens, once minted, would be moved to a multisig, which is controlled by Flash and MetaDAO team members. It's a 3x4 multisig, which basically requires at least one signer from the MetaDAO and the 2 signers from Flash. And then depending on the criteria that are met, the proposal to unlock tokens to put into West would be put up in this multisig. And there is a very important 3-day time lock on this multisig as well, where any proposal that is put up would require 3 days to actually happen. So I think this is a very neat safety mechanism, because if anyone wants to check or keep an eye on, and if they feel the team is rugging, we don't do that, by the way, but in the sense of having alignment and then safety first systems, there is a 3-day time lock which anyone can check. It's everything there is on chain, and the UI is there. Squad's UI is beautiful UI. We use it every day for many things, for deploying programs and handling most of the money. So we'll be sharing Max is back.
Sorry, yeah, I'm back.
We'll be sharing the multisig address. It will be in the proposal, and then this is how we are basically finalize the system in the direction of having a multisig, which would hold all the tokens that are minted at once, and then depending on the goalposts that are reached, we'd use a 7-day simple moving average, and the market cap going above those SMAs will allow us to put up a proposal, and then after 3 days the tokens will unlock. And we really hope all the tokens to be being unlocked as soon as possible.
Yeah, and just behind the scenes, MetaDAO has obviously worked very closely with us and made sure that all of our information is accurate. Anas has put in an immense amount of effort into getting you guys the most accurate information here. So
the hardest work was around the transfer of FAF from what it was to an ownership model. It did require quite a lot of work with the legal teams, where Zoheb did put in good amount of hours clarifying the structure that we had and the structure that was coming up. Everything had to be vetted legally, and a lot of discussions, and it actually took more than a month just in discussions on how the structure would be and how this would transition, because before it was a different structure that we basically owned, and that owned everything that is under Flash and Codebase and the token mint. And now everything is under a DAO, which represents FAF holders and their rights and their ownership, and the ownership of the code base, ownership of the brand, ownership of the money that is going to come in. So I think that is something that MetaDAO team really worked great on that side to make the structure possible. Without them, this structure wouldn't be possible today where we are. And speaking legally, it's one of the most safest structures out there when you are running an exchange.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, nothing else compares really. If you don't have ownership, I don't know, man. These days, it's really tough to get behind something. Even in my own personal kind of life, or choosing of assets, it's really, really hard for me to get behind something, because I just think it's like Fugazi, and because there's so much. I went through it on this really cool getting it done with Mags, where it's so true. It's like the Uniswap token value. I mean, they're doing ridiculous, volumes. They have ridiculously good revenue. Profits are through the roof, and the token is just 93% down or whatever. Yeah, and it's like, if there's there's literally zero incentive for people to buy that token. It makes no sense. What is the point at that? And it's like, there has to be some sort of connection there, and ownership tokens is definitely a great step forward in that direction. And the voting, the way the voting takes place with the Futarchy markets, again, another great video that we covered where we explained these markets and how they work, how it's outcome based, right? So you are able to really vote with your money, and whales cannot manipulate this structure in any meaningful way. They can manipulate it still. Don't get me wrong. I'm not like here praising it. Like, if you got enough money, you can manipulate just about anything. But it makes it so much more difficult to actually get that done. So much more capital.
It should be something called, you can basically invent a term called Trumpification thing, where
Trumpification. Crime season. Jeez, dude. The biggest extraction in crypto history. Yeah. Well,
I really want to go ahead. Zeb, you there? So earlier this week, we changed a lot of things around collateral ratio. So if you want to highlight details with the migration finalization as well.
Absolutely. A lot of stuff, and collateralization ratios just allow us to kind of have better open interest. And we've seen that with V2. Now, for better or for worse, what it ends up doing is allowing people to take higher notional positions, and with the same amount of liquidity being on the pool. So it's a risk-adjusted method to serve higher open interest, and being able to serve more volumes would correspond to more fees, and LPs are compensated for the additional risk that they're taking on. This allowed us to serve millions in volume over V2, as you've seen, with just like $300,000 worth of liquidity on the pool. So that's capital efficiency for the win, and
while making money.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Pools have been profitable, and I think traders have had a great time as well. So yeah, it kind of just proved that we have so much more in terms of capital efficiency unlocks waiting for the main pools once we migrate. So that's been the journey for all of the optimizations that we have made on the beta deployment with V2.
Moving ahead, I think we will just finalizing some important discussion.
And then if you can, Zaheb, if you can speak actually about the migration finalization underway, that'd be great. I mean, even myself, even internally, because I'm not on the technical side, and I saw you guys kind of wrapped up a meeting there. What is the current standing of that?
Right now, we're finalizing the whole flow on DevNet so that we're able to also verify the UX around the migration plan, and we were able to bring down the downtime to a few minutes, or potentially bringing it down to under 10 minutes. So
wow.
that's been the goal, where we have a planned or phased downtime, and where everything gets migrated. If you have had active positions, they are ported over. If you have had limit orders or take profit on stop losses in existing positions, all of it is moved over. And as LPs or as someone participating in the FAF staking mechanism we have, everything is ported over without any input from the user. So you see no difference in the execution whatsoever. But the underlying system changes to now settle trades on ER. So that's been like the crux of finalizing everything in terms of code reviews, in terms of formal verification for all of the new stuff that's going to kind of replace what we have in terms of trade interactions on V1. And we want to make it as seamless as possible. Like, we want users to not really be bothered about what really happens, and they coming and trying to migrate their positions and kind of hitting a wall. So we are doing all of it internally, and users could just come in and with a click of a button, now they have the same speed and execution that V2 offers today. So that's been our effort throughout the migration process, and now we are happy to see that coming together. And it's just been delayed by a week extra, because last week we were planning to have it around the epoch time, and we were fortunately able to kind of get a few feature activations rolled back on DevNet. That's SIMD 500 for anyone following. It kind of wrecked our plans. We had everything, and without doing a DevNet flow, it's always difficult to kind of just put it out on mainnet. And yeah, SBPF v3 being the only binary that could be supported on DevNet broke a few things.
Light SVN.
Absolutely. So we had to go back, point it out that the feature get activation might not really make sense at this point, because mainnet still has like a lot of drift in terms of activations. So we've got a word that 4.2 is coming around the corner, maybe end of July, as some of the top sources at ANZA has been describing. So we've been waiting for all of that to be in place, and sadly it did hit our plans of execution last week. So we just kind of got everything together, updated.
They rolled that back, didn't they?
Yes, they thankfully rolled that back.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would have been a lot of rework for us, and thanks to the Magic Block team as well for taking up the update on their end sooner than they anticipated. So we were able to kind of get that resolved, and now everything is back to where we were, and everything being in place. So we want to go ahead with the DevNet migration today. But yeah, we just kind of had all of those things put up in place post the DevNet restart over the weekend. We were waiting for everything to stabilize, which is looking super good now. So we're planning the execution early tomorrow morning. So we'll have the DevNet migration done, and also the unstaking or the required changes for FAF unstaking for the upcoming Futarchy vote. And once all of that is set in stone, we'll proceed to have the migration covered. We're looking at later this week, or Thursday or Friday of this week, to have the final mainnet migration, and we'll have all of the proper communication on when the phase downtime is planned, relayed to the UI and announced beforehand, with like all of the critical announcements going out at their particular windows. So we had all of the things planned and put in place. So yeah, just keep an eye out over this week to see us execute.
Awesome. And if you are on V2, I know that you saw a large breadth of assets literally just being listed every single day. You might have noticed that that has slowed down a little, and that is due to kind of the hiccups that we were kind of just addressing here in a second. But we are going to continue that shortly. So V2 will be expanding even further. We do have kind of a backlog list too. I've noticed Panda has suggested quite a few. I think I've suggested 2 others that were notable or obviously highly traded. So some of those listings are going to continue now or post-migration.
Post-migration is where we are planning, because there is the state changes that we have to be wary of between V1 and V2, so that we
Gotcha.
have to freeze things that can be moved over, because now with the what migration essentially is basically everything that is live on V1, positions, FLP stakes, SFLP stakes, referrals, and your FAF staked, everything needs to be migrated 1:1 on the new program that is on V2.
Yeah.
So that is, and yeah.
If
Then
you've
you
ever
have
done a database migration, this is you remember doing your first database migration, you're terrified you're going to screw it up, and as soon as you hit go, you're like, all right, it's do or die. If I migrate this improperly, I'm totally screwed and I'm getting fired. That's kind of same exact instance here, where it's like, hold on to your butts. But no, these guys are far more professional than me, where I'm just like, let it ride. So thank God I'm not at the helm. Zahaib has seen us through some serious migrations already, ones that were far more complex than even this one. So I have no doubts, especially with Zahaib being at the helm. My confidence levels through the roof, whether delusional or not. But FAF unstaking allowance for Futarchy voting. What does that mean?
Yep.
That's a
I think
mouthful.
that's what we went before, where the details around allowing people to unstake FAF without any penalty or without any duration of 3 months staking.
But it's going to be in a very short window, right? It's not going to be
it's basically over the period of 3-day voting time.
Yeah, that was, sorry, I apologize. Not short, but like that window is the only time. It's not going to be like permanent.
No, that window is the only time, and that's a very important proposal, and we want everyone's
absolutely
take on it. So, and I think, Max, we also have to work on putting out exactly how people have to vote as well, because a lot of people get confused.
Yeah. We there's some really good docs on the Futarchy markets. We worked tirelessly to break it down Barney style, as simple as humanly possible. And I do believe by the end, if you are getting confused, if the docs are unclear and you still don't kind of get it, trust me, don't be embarrassed. Do not participate. Just jump into our Discord. We're more than happy to explain it to you if we truly have to. If it would be beneficial to the community, I can take my allocation, I can go vote live, so that this way you kind of get the idea of how exactly it works. You can watch me do it. It gives you a little bit more confidence. If that's something the community is interested in, I'd be more than happy to do that, because at the end of the day, the more votes on this, the better. It does represent a larger swath of our community, of the protocol owners, ownership token. And we definitely want you to get involved and express, whether through voting or through your voice, your perspectives on this proposal. So whatever we can do to help, we do have a great helpful video also that we might reuse for this vote as well. Maybe I'll just create a fresh, brand new perspective for a fresh video, and then annoy Sarthik to make it look pretty, so you don't just have the janitor talking to you. All right. As always, when funding mechanism. Go ahead.
Oh, right after migration. This thing has been sitting on the table for so long. I know it's embarrassing. It's beyond embarrassing at this point. But yeah, like
I just like bugging you.
we had to just get the whole V2 thing out, because it's been holding on a lot of things, because we couldn't do state migrations which diverge in both places, so we had to kind of structure one thing after the other. And with Anza's pace of shipping, and like random feature gates getting activated, it's been a tough ride to catch up with like all of the things around. So we've prioritized having the best uptime and the best execution for users before we could get all of these additional features back in the line. And yeah, V2 has been super helpful for us in terms of getting the required data points, and that's been like super helpful in structuring it all together. So really appreciate all of the users trying out beta, and apologies for a lot of issues with crammed up liquidity on beta as well. So yeah, we're trying to make things right as soon as possible and have all of the liquidity unlocked with the migration finally this week.
Oh yeah. Because with you're saying once we migrate everything over, the liquidity is going to be huge. I mean, that's a huge jump. So obviously, kind of limited at the moment, like you had alluded to, the 300,000. Although the craziest thing for me is I genuinely thought we'd have massive liquidity bottlenecks. This is not the case. It is very rare. The capital efficiency of V2 is freaking wild. Wow. And then with funding mechanism in its place, sheesh, that's going to be, I don't know. I'm super excited. Funding mechanism is kind of one of those, well, first off, it is the final migration, or at least on the list of Margin Engine V2. So that will actually,
so that was actually part of Margin Engine V2, and we had the design, but during it was just around January earlier this year where we decided to prioritize V2 rather than the funding mechanism, because
it made sense.
Given the state of systems and the way things are moving, we have to be more active with listings and higher capital efficiency, which basically the V2 deployment unlocks, and then the funding mechanism works as a cherry on the top. So
yeah. And what I'd like to do too is something I think I might take on as a personal passion project, or maybe even work with a NOS on, is to maybe publish it on FStats, or maybe even push it into an article, is the capital efficiency of the V2 implementation versus other similar implementations out there. We'll just say, just to keep it not aggressive, but I think that would be a really cool case study to really drill down into and be able to deliver to the public, to kind of have that aha moment of why V2 and everything that we've been building here at Flash Trade is so important. Kind of like, was it prop AMMs? All the studies and all these people coming out with the prop AMM stuff. It's like nobody ever does pull to peer, man. What the hell? Come on. What are all these researchers doing? But yeah, I mean, swaps is the number one thing on chain, so I guess it does kind of make sense. But phase 3 of launch, was that basically, that was the finalization of Margin Engine V2, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And then drum roll, please, because this is my favorite thing. This is what I alluded to earlier, is Flash Duels. Oh, I can't wait. Let's go. This is the massive iteration to funding wallet, by the way. This is such, Yeah, because actually what's even crazier is before Anas even came up with Flash Duels, because this is all Anas's brain, most things are. The crazy part is I had two conversations, with two different communities where they were essentially asking for this exact thing. So now we
I hope they are alive.
What? Oh,
I
yeah.
hope the communities are alive.
Yeah, no, they're still there. I mean, once this is live, I want to really push it out to, some of these trading communities so they can go head to head. So you can really put your money where your mouth is, you punk. If you say you could beat me trading, let's go.
Yeah.
I'm putting $100 on the line. Let's go. Duel me. I think it's sick. I think it is one of the coolest things that we're going to have coming out here. Honestly, in a while, one of those cool features like trading on the charts was that other one that really didn't see its limelight and really didn't see that like how cool it really can be until V2. And I think Flash Duels is another one of those things where this will be a massive feature that can really be really bring a more fun and interactive experience on Flash Trade for different communities. And kind of, again, instead of just saying you're a better trader, put your money where your mouth is and let's go. Propose a duel. Did you want to explain it a little bit, Anas?
No, I think you perfectly explained it, and I think the majority of the work is on making sure the UX is much easier, both on mobile and desktop, and that is where some of my time is being invested as we speak, and we hope the experience is seamless and a lot of people have fun trading on chain.
Yeah, and it really is as simple as you create a proposal kind of situation where
don't say proposal because that this bring it
intertwines. You create a duel. You create a duel where basically you're just saying, "Hey, this other trader, right? I'm going to put down this much money. This other trader needs to come to the table, and we're going to figure out like truly who is the better trader." Based on obviously the only thing that matters, which is P&L. So that is pretty cool to me. I'm going to challenge some big people in the ecosystem and I'm going to get absolutely crushed. But, I'm the janitor. All right. I never stated I was the best trader in the world. In my mind, I'm the best trader in the world, but my mind alone. Anas, who are you going to challenge?
I think we'll have first duel amongst the team, and that it's all tested. So I think the challenge would be amongst the team members and hope as well, because we already do talk about a lot of things going up and down.
Yeah, Anas is going to kill me, but I challenge you, sir. We'll see who has the biggest P&L. That's going to be misconstrued. Zaheb, are you participating? Are you a great trader, sir?
The best thing I can do is inverse trade myself. So that's it.
I'll inverse trade you and beat Anas. Actually, I think Anas is the best trader here out of all of us, to be fair.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's going to win against Anas. I don't know what it is. He's like a market indicator in and of himself. I genuinely don't understand how he does it, but it's good to follow. Let's see. Anything else that you gentlemen would like to bring up?
He's been doing that for like 10 years now, I guess, or even more. So, yeah, experience.
Well, he was a market maker, right? So, does kind of make sense. It's in the same breath, in the same realm. So, would definitely make sense that he'd absolutely crush each and every one of us. But I'm still going after it. I'm just letting you know I want the crown. Would be cool too. Do you have or will you have a kind of like a leaderboard style or something to share and stuff like that? You know what I mean? Like social proof that's in the works?
Yes.
Gotcha. Yeah, just wanted to make sure that because bragging rights is bragging rights in my opinion. You gotta have bragging rights, especially if you beat somebody notable like Anas.
For sure.
All right. Well, I'm gonna say bid you all adieu. My camera finally came on, so I can actually do the outro without you just looking at my PFP. But Anas, I'll see you soon. Zaheb, see you, sir.
Yeah.
All right. So obviously, a few things on the docket. For sure, one of the most important is the proposal. The most important for the community, the most important for the team is migration. That is truly what we are focused on. Secondary for us is the proposal, but the most notable thing for the community to continue to engage with and express your opinions is proposal number 4, which is in Flash Labs right now. If you have not thrown in your 2 cents, please go do so. We are always monitoring Flash Labs. I've actually refrained from putting in some of my 2 cents, but I, mainly because it was already debated internally, and I really just wanted to get the feedback from the community, which has been overwhelmingly positive, with a few adjustments here and there that the community was pointing out, which was good. All of it is great feedback, constructive feedback when it comes to these proposals that go to the Futarchy markets. But at the end of the day, it does all come down to how you vote with Futarchy. So that is the path of ownership that we have chosen for the FAF token. Migration is well under works. The funding mechanism, if you're, essentially trying to understand what that is all about, we actually did have some posts about it, as well as we have talked about it in the past, where longs pay shorts, shorts pay longs, kind of like the traditional order book style. It's kind of it's the easiest, most simplest way to explain that. If you are here right now listening to me, if you don't mind, if you've made it all the way to the end, if you could leave a like, repost one of our recent posts on the timeline, not so much the live, as we do come out with more targeted shorts you'll see throughout the week. If you could repost those as well, we would love that. Engage with it. Do all the social media stuff. Don't forget, we have the YouTube. It's all recorded there. If you'd prefer to take this on the go in a YouTube style podcast, these are all available on YouTube as soon as the stream is ended. If you want to get involved with the community, maybe you're brand new here, jump into our Discord, follow us on X, turn on the notification bell so that this way you can be notified of all the latest and greatest, as well as some of our, I guess they call it these days shit posting. So some of the shit posting, as well as just our general posts that we try to keep you informed and entertained. But other than that, you will see a different backdrop coming here soon, as I'm going to be moving into a kind of a bigger, better studio. Instead of just having this white backdrop, we're going to be moving into a new place, and I will be designing that studio or my office to be a little bit more, not so just white wall, and a little bit more entertaining for you all. A little bit more pleasing to the eye. Professional studio, you might say. But that will be coming as well in the coming weeks. So hopefully that doesn't interrupt any of the Flash Hour Live's prettiness. I mean, obviously I'll still be here, but if everything's broken down, you might just see me on my laptop doing a Flash Hour for 1 week. And then we'll be back up and running with a new studio with a new look and feel to the janitor's environment. But thank you all for watching as usual. I really, really appreciate it. And like always, I'll see you in the markets.